Welcome back. So put all the headlamp on, all the bracketry is done. So now got to strip it all back down, get it all painted, put it all back together, including the exhaust brackets as well. I haven't started the bike, I think, sort of since summer last year. So I'm going to put it all back together and maybe even get it out the garage. If I can't get it out the garage, I'll just start it in the garage, but get it running, check everything's working all right, and yeah, it just gives yourself a bit of a boost really, because these projects sort of roll on and then you lose a bit of enthusiasm or momentum. So that's what I'm looking to do today. So here's my little washing line of brackets, all rubbed down, cleaned with thinners and ready to paint. So that's this morning's task, and here are all the stuff that I need to do. An etching primer, which is basically alley or chrome plastic. That's what I'm doing today. Discipline. Leave 20 minutes in between coats, dust coat to begin with. Got it. Spraying up all the brackets in my little spray booth down the end of the garage. Two tips that got from YouTube, in fact Dell. Firstly was don't use sheets and generally plastic, but this very thin decorating plastic sheeting is great. So I've lined the walls and everything, and it really does have a static attraction for sort of loose paint that's flying around, and I don't know if you can see that. Is just hanging off of the plastic, which is good. That says it's sticking to the walls. And I think the other tip I'd recommend is old paint tins scrunched up, masking tape, and then so effectively acting as double-sided tape, and then just sticking it on top of the paint tin, so you can move it around, you can get to all the different parts and angles. It doesn't fall on the table, on the floor with all wet paint and codding it up. So that works really, really well, especially complicated shapes where you need to sort of get underneath and around and so on and so forth. So yeah, great tip. Another Dell tip, obviously you can't really spray in cold, damp weather. It's absolutely freezing outside, it's early April. So got a little heater, little warm air heater, which I heated the garage up to a nice cozy temperature before attempting any spraying. This is another top tip, but be careful, because also sucks all the paint in the bag. And it's not my heater, but that's okay, because my wife doesn't watch YouTube. So I give it a brush off and put it back. YouTube is great for passing these sort of tips on. Well done, Dell. So I'll leave those for 24, 48 hours. In fact, I might even leave them until Monday. And then a coat of black satin paint. I can start putting all these bits back together again. Right, managed to get all the bracketry back together again, and it's all a bit of a jiggle to get it all in and nice and tight. But the clocks now are rock solid but rubber mounted, very close to the headlamp, but a nice little clearance. And I've still got that adjustment. The difficulty at the moment, and it's a bit of a temporary solution, is the braided brake lines are way too long. In fact, I've got to take 3 inches out of either end, and the clutch braided lines as well. I might do that at the end of the season as a next year project. I know where to get them made. It would be an awful lot more convenient to just have a new end put on. And I do know that Revival Motorcycles do a kit which they use for all of their bikes, so they say, and they're not crimped, they're kind of wind on. Sounds a bit scary, but they've never had a failure in all their time, they say. That's something I might look at. But I did come across was the original headlamp. As I said, this is 5.75, I think. Yeah, 5.75 inches. I think this is probably 7.5. It's absolutely massive. But also, look at the depth of it, and it's just massive. So, yeah, that's quite a change from that to that. And probably gives that about a third of the light as well. So I think that's definitely an improvement.
To do some damage, doesn't it?
Ooh, that's quite loud. Well, as you can see from the video, it's coming on. I'm happy with the stance. It's sort of a very aggressive sort of look, and I love the way the engine is just massive and hanging out the frame, which is good. Things I've learnt: got to adjust the mirrors. The uprights are way too upright, and as a result you can't adjust the mirrors to see anything other than too low. And secondly, the headlamp stopped working, which is a bit disappointing because it seems to work when the ignition's on, but when the engine's running it doesn't work. I don't understand. The lights indicate that the high beam works. That don't work either. So that's something I need to have a look at. But there, that's renewed my enthusiasm a little bit just to get it up and running. I think there's a difference between doing the cosmetic stuff and doing the mechanical stuff to a point where, you know, you can sort of say, yeah, I've done that. Getting it well sorted so it's a proper roadworthy and not just a piece of art that someone slung into a show is going to take a little bit longer. But I will have it on the road for this summer, if not spring. I need to crack on now. Generally pleased with progress, I think. Oh, it's what I wanted, something to do. See you next time.